P, welcome to the podcast.
It's so good to be here.
Giving you tea here. I'm giving you.
All the notes.
I was a corporate babe. Like, do you think I ever had plans to start a business? I had bereavement, I had work-related stress, I had to go off sick with no plan, no other job to go to. Everything fell apart and it was almost like God saying, you see that dream that I gave you and you wasn't being obedient? I've had to make everything fall apart so you have no choice but to go down that route. You know when people say, I found God at my lowest point?
Yeah.
I found God at my highest point. When people say, how do you do it? I say, it can only be God, because I didn't necessarily have a strategy. I would put myself in certain rooms. I would post about certain things that I felt were quite authentic. Kid you not, I had a conversation with this person. They were like, we want to offer you a contract. My company wasn't even registered. And yes, it feels uncomfortable. If I show you my first video, vile. It was terrible. That visibility and building relationships is what changed the complete game for me. Yes, social media is good, but it's not the business. Hone in on what you do really well and expand it to different industries. I think a lot of the work started with me letting go.
Founders be like this.
I'm still crying now. I'm like, Do the thing, because...
Welcome back to the Move with Purpose podcast, and today I am joined by Pariss. Woman of God, mother of two, entrepreneur, business owner, and so much more. P, welcome to the podcast.
It's so good to be here.
We finally made it happen.
Yeah, we've been bad.
It's literally been like 2 years, us going back and forth.
It could be more, but I feel like 2 years doesn't sound as bad. So
yeah, true. You're here now.
2 years.
I always like to start with a bit of an icebreaker, just to find out a little bit more about you. So we'll do a quick fire round. Coffee or tea?
To coffee.
To coffee. Okay,
tea. I'm a tea girl at heart.
Are you?
Yeah,
okay. If you was to have a coffee, what would it be?
Latte, caramel latte.
Yeah, I agree with that
half
one.
a sugar.
Lovely. Morning person or night owl?
Morning person.
What time?
About 6:30.
Really?
6:30, yeah.
Is that so you can get up and go before the kids? Or...
Yeah, but I'm getting better at nights as well, so I feel like I'm moulding into both. But historically, I'm definitely a morning person.
Yeah.
I like to wake up before the world.
Interesting. One word people use to describe you?
Always smiling, happy, annoyingly sometimes, yeah.
One word you wish people understood about you?
Ooh. I'm quite emotional. Yeah, I'm an emotional being. I love a good cry.
Yeah.
I love a good cry, yeah.
What's something you're currently unlearning?
Guilt.
Oh, for yourself? Or?
Yeah. Guilt for where I've got to in life.
Okay.
If I'm going to be real.
Yeah,
I think definitely something that I'm starting to unlearn.
And then the last one is, what does moving with purpose mean to you?
Ooh, so nuanced. I think the first thing, moving with purpose with me, is actually being in alignment with God's will for my life. And I feel like I had a path of where I wanted to go, but actually God had other plans. So what I realised is that purpose is, it's not just for me, it's bigger than me. So it doesn't just serve me and my immediate family, but it's what God's using me to do for the world as well. And that's purpose. It should be bigger than you.
And to dig in on that, what was your will for your life before you kind of got in tune with what God had planned for you?
I was a corporate babe. Like, do you think I ever had plans to start a business? Really? I was like, pick up my bag at 5:00 and I'm leaving. I had no plans. When I was a little girl and I was thinking about what I wanted for my future, entrepreneurship was just not part of that plan. When I reflect back now, I think I was so disobedient with honouring that entrepreneurship that... everything fell apart. It had to fall apart for me to realise that entrepreneurship was the will for my life.
Okay.
So.
And what did fall apart look like?
Rock bottom. So I had bereavement, I had work-related stress, I had to go off sick with no plan, no other job to go to. Completely lost my identity, as in when I looked in the mirror, I just didn't know who I was. Everything fell apart and it was almost like God saying, you see that dream that I gave to you? Because it came through a dream, Journal to Dreams did. It was almost like, you see that dream that I gave you and you wasn't being obedient. I've had to make everything fall apart so you have no choice but to go down that route.
And how old was you when you had that dream?
I think I was 28 or 29, because I started business around 5 years ago, so it was my late 20s. And at that point I decided that I'd achieved everything that I wanted to. But when I got there, do you know that societal expectations of what you should achieve, go to uni, get a house, have kids, but when I got there I felt completely numb. So I thought I was made at that point, and then actually realised that something was missing. Something hadn't clicked in my heart posture. So yeah, I think it was late 20s.
We're going to get into all of that and more in a minute. I just wanted to dig deep. You obviously grew up in Wolverhampton.
I did.
And you were labelled as an underachiever. Can you talk to me a little bit about your upbringing?
Yeah, so my upbringing was that I was always an underachiever at school. I was on something called the Red Table, and I talk about this a lot because the Red Table was pivotal for my whole life, actually, up until probably quite recently. I was always the one that needed additional support, always the one that needed additional help. I was really grateful that my mum, outside of school, put me in a lot of different activities, so I wasn't defined by the educational system. But actually I was, and it followed me from primary school. Then the report went to secondary school to say that I also struggled. So then I had additional support in secondary school until I met this one teacher. And we always have this one teacher, don't we?
Yeah, that
this
changes
one teacher,
our life.
literally. And she sat with me to apply for clearing for a course because I didn't have enough UCAS points, and I managed to find a course, a foundation degree in University of East London to do criminology. And at that point, that was the turning point, but my whole life had been defined. And actually, when I went to uni, I thought, there's no way I'm going to achieve this. I'm going for the fun and just to get out of this city. So yeah, that's how it continued, really, through to
And was
uni.
criminology something you wanted to study? Were you passionate about it, or was it just the only thing available?
Do you know what? A bit of both. I think I always saw institutional racism growing up. I grew up in an area called Whitmarines in Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
High crime rates. And I always thought, why is it that I see little black boys and little black girls being stopped? I need to understand why. So kind of went on a mini mission. So when I saw, again, it was divine timing, because that was one of the only degrees that I was able to get on. But I had a slight interest in it anyway, just from a personal point of view. So yeah, so I joined that degree. But even when I started that degree, there was a guy at the desk that said, you do not, because I didn't have a GCSE at that point. I didn't even have a GCSE in. I had a GCSE in maths, but I didn't have a GCSE, in English, but not in maths.
Yeah.
And so when I went to enrol, he said, you can't enrol on this course without a GCSE maths. And the guy next to him said, don't worry, I'll deal with her. And he enrolled me on the course.
Shut the front
Do you know
door.
what's really interesting about that is that same lecturer, about a year ago, no, it's about 3 months ago now, we was able to fund him for a piece of research.
No way.
So
Through Journal to Dreams?
Yeah.
Sick.
So we sold back to him in the way that he sold into me all them years ago. Like, God, I can't even tell you.
And it's the strength and longevity in relationships, isn't it? Because I guess you've kept in touch with him and stuff.
Yeah, on LinkedIn. Yeah.
And then you've been able to kind of like pay it back in a sense.
Absolutely. And I just said, like, thank you for everything you've done for me. Like, growing up, I wouldn't have been here without you. And like, it's a blessing that I'm able to sow back into you now.
No way.
So yeah.
So you went to university, you studied criminology,
Yes.
and then you said you were a corporate girly. Did you go straight into work after graduating?
Yeah, literally, I went straight into work. I went into the prison system, so I worked in Oakwood, HMP Oakwood. I worked in the probation service. I worked in the court service. I worked in approved premises. Everywhere in the criminal justice you can think of, I worked. But then I landed finally in the youth offending team, which I absolutely loved. But again, it was that golden thread of the institutional racism that I was seeing a lot of. And I started to get compassion fatigue, actually. Really difficult to go into courtrooms and advocate, because I was almost like, I don't care, I'm not having this. I'm gonna challenge these judges. And it was really difficult, but so purposeful.
And were you seeing that like institutional racism towards yourself or young people? Or was it just a bit of both?
I think more so the young people. More so the young people, and the cultural humility piece. It was not there in terms of engaging with ethnically diverse communities. I just saw a huge gap in terms of how do we engage with these young people, because it's one thing giving them a custodial sentence, but how do we rehabilitate? So I think that was a real difficult part in terms of how do we support these young people. And it was tough, because I lead by heart, and it's going to be the death of me. It's going to be the death of me, because I bring heart into everything that I do. But yeah, it was really tough.
Can you tell me about like one of the most challenging moments during that like career?
There's a couple. I think the first one was, we had two young people. One was a white male, one was a black male, and one of them did the exact same offences. One of them got a community sentence, and the black child went straight in after and got a custodial sentence. Wow. And the other thing was, I remember being heavily pregnant, working with a young person and being asked to testify against this young person. And I just remember saying, I'm not going to do it. I am not going to do it. So that was really tough as well, because it was almost job against heart.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I really struggled with in the corporate world, because there was so much red tape that I wasn't able to make the change that I wanted to make. And so that led me to move to the therapeutic world, because what I realised was that we were working with certain areas of young people to look at reducing reoffending rates. But why were we not looking at the root cause?
Right.
So then I went into the NHS as a multi-systemic therapist, and I was working with families, which I loved. We used to work with the families in the home 3 days a week to look at the root cause, which was incredible. I really, really loved it.
And was that a bit of a like career pivot or career progression when you look back at it?
Pivot.
Okay.
I think it was more, I felt it was, at the time I felt it was progression, and to a certain extent it was, because I was able to look at the root cause.
Yeah.
But there were still pieces missing. In terms of what I wanted to achieve, and in the midst of all of that, I was having the dreams.
Wow.
Yeah, and
that you were ignoring.
The dreams that I was just completely ignoring, like, it was staring me in the face. And this has happened a few times in my life, and it's really interesting because the dream actually said, it was a cinema screen, the credits, and it said, the ball is in the court of the business owner. Wow. And I remember waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and just typing it in the notes of my phone, and then I just ignored it. Completely ignored it. But then after that was a chain of different events that led to me not having a job.
So you were you like forced into entrepreneurship then?
In some ways, I think it was almost like, you have no choice. I've given you this vision, and I had an idea of what I wanted to do, so I just started to post videos on social media, just talking in the camera, just posting quotes. And then the quotes, like I said, the quotes turned into videos. The videos turned into opportunities. The opportunities turned into clients, and now the clients turn into corporate contracts, and it just...
All from posting on social media?
Yeah.
So, like, talk for the viewers watching then, P, talk me through what that looks like practically. What are the timelines from, like, posting to then seeing, like, compounding
that's
results?
a good... Quick. But,
really?
Again, and the reason why I say that is because... When people say, how do you do it? I say, it can only be God, because I didn't necessarily have a strategy. However, what I would say is that visibility, I was really visible, and proximity as well. So I would put myself in certain rooms, I would post about certain things that I felt were quite authentic. And what happened is someone that I used to work with said to me, oh, actually, I love what you're posting. I want to invite you into this organisation so I can introduce you to some people. And I kid you not, I had a conversation with this person. They were like, we want to offer you a contract doing some work with us through your organisation. My company wasn't even registered. I was like, I'll do it. I was like, I'll do it. And I got home that night. Yeah, I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing, but let me just register. And it just started from there. And that's why I say, you see, proximity, like, putting yourself in rooms and putting yourself out there. Yes, it's cringe, and yes, it feels uncomfortable. If I show you my first video,
I can imagine. Yeah,
it was terrible.
2K quality.
Just me rocking. The music was too loud. There was just lots of stuff happening. But that visibility and building relationships is what changed the complete game for me. It changed the game.
And were you like consistent with it afterwards, or did it like, was there a shift to being more like business operationally minded, or did you
only
just keep
recently,
up?
only 5 years down the line, because
Okay.
I realised that social media is what changed my life. So I just was very consistent with it. Have always been quite consistent up until, I'd say, over the last 6 months, I think I've been a bit more complacent, because yes, social media is good, but it's not the business.
For sure.
So you still have lives to change, you still have processes, strategy. So it's important that you don't get too caught up in it.
And
I
it's
think
so
there's a real
hard, isn't
balance.
it? Yeah, it's difficult, because there is that, like, if you're not visible, you're invisible. But then I can't sit here on social media all the time. I've actually got to build the business, which takes you away from the creation, doesn't it?
I think there's a huge... I think for me, the reason I was consistent for so long is because I knew 95% of the work that I got was through social media.
Got it.
So much of the work. But now I've been able to build strategy away from social media. So I've got a little bit more of a balance. But it's something that I always preach about with my clients. I say it all the time. Proximity and visibility, like the two things that will change your life. And I know it's hard. But how else are you going to reach people from different parts of the world? You're not going to do that from sitting you're home doing nothing. You have to start
be
posting those
visible.
videos and just talking about what you do.
When it comes to winning contracts, what tips and advice would you give to like women in business that are thinking about stepping into entrepreneurship and know they need contracts to like uphold the business? Where do they start?
It's a really good point that you raised, because we pivoted probably over the last couple of years, because yes, we had one-to-one clients, but we realised to scale and to actually make the impact that we wanted to make, we needed to have those contracts. And the first thing is, I think it's so easy to slip into doing the things that everybody else is doing because we think that that's what works. But actually, one of the things that I do is look at the organisation's KPIs, like what are they doing, what are the gaps, like what do they need, and what's not already being done.
Okay.
So for example, the contract that we've got currently with Public Health, we realised that there was a huge gap offering therapeutic support to ethnically diverse communities.
Nice.
And we realised it was something that Public Health needed that they didn't currently have. So we were like, actually, we have this package and this product. We realised that you need it. It's already made, so you don't have to think about anything. It aligns with your KPIs. Let us deliver it. And that's exactly what we did, and it's filling a gap. So don't be too quick to look at what everybody else is doing, but look at what that organisation needs. If you're working in the youth industry, have a look at what's not already there.
Wow.
And I think that's giving you
Take
tea here.
notes,
I'm giving you
all the notes.
I'm giving you all the tea, man. But yeah, that's what works for us. Look at what the gap is. Look at what they need.
And when it comes to scale, how have you scaled?
I think doing what we do well and expanding it. I think
Okay.
a lot of people worry about, I need to try something new. I need to imitate.
what am I not doing?
I need to innovate. Sorry, I need to change. I need to hone in on what you do really well and
Love
expand it to different industries. So what we do, we know our core values are therapeutic support we offer and personal development. So let's hone in on certain areas of that and pitch it to different organisations.
Awesome.
Because once you do one thing well, you just scaling and expanding the same thing and offering that blueprint.
What has building a team looked like for you?
You
knew it was coming. You knew it was coming.
Do you know what? I've been really blessed. I think a lot of the work started with me letting go. So
That's so big.
Oh God, it's so
Founders
big.
be like this.
I'm still crying now. I'm like, doing that groundwork and that hard work to let go because I knew that it was bigger than me and I couldn't keep this to myself was really hard, because I had a way of doing it. I prided myself on doing it. But there was so much strength in bringing people in that do things better than how I do it. The business runs the best it ever has because it's not solely relying on me. Because I have my shortfalls, I have my weaknesses, and I've had people come in who have a passion as well, also lead by heart, because that's our mantra, and really help me take it to the next level. It's been hard, I'm not going to lie, because I've had to let go of control. That was one area of my life where I felt like I had control.
Was that hard for you?
Yeah.
How long did it take you like to really release that control?
Probably in the last 6 months.
P's 5 years in, guys, do the maths.
Yeah.
That's so honest.
Probably in the last 6 months, like I've had to let go and find love in other areres, because I think it's so easy for you to make your business your identity.
So easy.
And I'm not going to lie, like for a long period, God actually had a word that said, I need you to separate from Journal Streams because you're making it your identity. So when people would ask me, who are you? I'd be like, oh, I'm the founder of Journal Streams. I'm like, there's so many other layers to who I am.
Love that.
And I think I had to find love in other areas, hence starting a consultancy, hence basking in motherhood and really going back to Pariss, what do you love doing away from business?
And what was it?
There were so many different. I love shopping. When Pariss got shopping addiction. But like nature.
Okay.
Spending time with friends and just waking up a little bit later than 6:30 sometimes. So I had to really study who I was all over again, because I spent so much time making business my identity. And I think that's the one thing that I say to my clients. I know it's hard, but you have to be able to have a life outside of it, because when things go tits up in business, which they will, you will make it your identity.
And you know, like, I've been in that place where the business is the identity. And I started Eloquent when I was 17.
Wow.
So there was no escaping from it. Like, I'd go out, see people and be like, there's the dancing lady or there's the Eloquent lady.
Yeah.
People would come up to me in Tesco like, where can I sign my child up? And I'm like, are you actually serious? But having kids helped me to separate from it, because when the business had wins, I'd feel on a high. When we had lows, I was like low, and I was like, hold on, my emotions cannot be attached to how we're performing as a business.
Absolutely.
It didn't feel right after a couple amount of years. I was like, Mom, we've got to fix this. And it was that word from the Lord to be like, your identity is hidden in me. Not in what I gave you.
Whew.
Because the same thing I gave you, I'll take it away.
You can make it an idol.
You can worship the business.
You can worship, and I'm not gonna lie, I went to the stage where I was just like, this business is life.
100%.
It got quite bad. So I had to kind of separate children, I would say, my boys, and really being able to step into motherhood, because I have to be real. The people that are parents will know that you go through a season where you do have to be like, do you know what? I'm not as present as what I wanted to be because I'm building right now. Yeah. And that's me being real. The early stages, I had to really hone in on business because I knew it was going to change their life. And my partner really stepped in a lot in dad mode and just doing what he needed to do. Even when he didn't understand the fruits of the labour, even when I was doing things for free, even when I was just...
like, make it make sense.
Yeah, like, it wasn't making sense. So that mum guilt was there as well. So to be in this season now where I can be fully present, doing the school run, taking them, picking them back up, just being completely present is a blessing, and that's where there's been a pivot in identity as well.
Mom guilt is so real. Like, I had a real like pivotal mom guilt moment last year where I got through to like the finals of like a pitch for Deutsche Bank, and they sent through the email and was like, the final pitch in front of the judges for like 15 to 20k investment is on my daughter's birthday. Now, I'd already booked to take her to Paris. So I was like, I'm going to be in Paris, but you've worked on this pitch to get to this point for how long? Now I'm not about to say I can't make it.
Yes.
So I remember flying from Disneyland into London to do this pitch, bawling en route, because she was like, Mommy, where are you going? It's my birthday. I'm like... It's going to make sense in the next couple of months. Yeah. It's going to make sense. And won the pitch. And obviously, she's not going to remember that I wasn't present. Aww. But do you have a moment where mom guilt had you in tears, bawling?
Yeah, like a lot of the time. But it was the tears. I realised that the tears were the emotion because I'm a mom and because I adore my children. But the logic had to take over because I was building something that was going to be greater than me and something that, God willing, will last longer than me and longer than them. So there's been difficult decisions that I've had to make, but I've had to do it. So I resonate with that so much.
I'm still not over it though. I'm still not quite over it. Like, I need to have that. I'm gonna stick with that. The logic has to take over because I'm not there yet. I'm just emotional mess.
We're emotional beings though. We really are, but that's where I'm at now. And I think my kids are older because I've got nearly a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old. I take them on a journey, so I say to them, look, Mommy's not going to be here today, but that's because, well, they call me Mom now, which is a bit sad, but Mom's not going to be here now, but this is the fruits of the labour, and this is what I'm working towards, so I can actually take them on a journey, and they understand everything that I do.
Love that.
I'll give you an example. So we do bereavement boxes at Journal Streams, and one of my youngest friend's parent passed away, and he came home and he took some of the bereavement boxes in for his friend because he knew that was one of the arms of what we did. So because I take them on a journey, they can see and they can encourage me. The other day, one of them saw me on YouTube. They were just flicking, and I was like, "That's my mum."
I love that.
So I think as they get older, you can start to take them on a journey and bring them under that entrepreneurial journey. But it's really hard when they're small.
Yeah, super difficult.
It's hard.
What has becoming a mom meant for you?
Everything. Everything. I think with my first son, I didn't even know I was pregnant until I was like 4.5 months old. People were like, how do you not know your body? And like, well, I didn't. Okay, I was only like 22.
Fairs.
So so it's meant everything. But it's really interesting because me and my oldest have grown alongside each other. So he's actually the other day he said to me, Mom, you did such a good job with me, and you was only doing it for the first time. I was like, don't make me cry.
I would have been bawling
because he's seen the journey. So I think there's beauty in that. But another one of those things is that I was, like I said, I was an underachiever in school, and I don't think that education is the be-all and end-all. I'm going to be honest, even though I work in the education system.
Yeah.
I think my youngest will be an entrepreneur, but I really wanted to pride myself in providing them opportunities that I didn't have because I didn't know what grammar school was. And my son is going to grammar school in September.
Yes,
so it's almost like breaking those generational patterns to say, yes, it's not everything that you go into grammar school, but you were able to do it, and I didn't have that. I didn't have the beauty of that. So I think it's about creating opportunities for them, celebrating who they are, and just, I guess, just knowing that a lot of what I do is for them. Like, it really is. When it's all said and done, they're the driver. They're the huge motivation. I think community is a huge driver. Yeah. But when I come home and I see my kids, and that's the why.
Do you get to switch off?
Yes, I am switching off more now. I know I'm saying everything is in the last 6 months.
It sounds like the last 6 months have been so pivotal for you.
It's been pivotal, and the reason why I say the last 6 months is because 6 months ago I handed over my last contract to a member of staff. So I was actively still working in the business, which I loved. I loved working in the business, but again,
capacity stretched though, isn't it?
Yeah, I needed to be more strategic in what I was doing, so I had to hand it over. So my days look a little different now. I plan my days how they look, which is, it's a blessing and a, don't want to say the other one. Yes, it's a blessing and it's hard as well. But yeah, it's been a shift. It's been a shift. So I do switch off now. That's what I would say. Go to the gym, drop the kids off, go to the gym in the mornings, have like quiet time. But then when we was on the way up, I was talking about that guilt piece.
Yes.
And now it's the guilt of the fact that I've created a system that I can actually do those things. I feel like is
be
this
rewarded
what it should,
for?
Is this what it should be? Should I be doing something? Should I be? So it's almost like working through that emotional element of actually it's okay, like you deserve to, you've worked hard for the last 5 years solid, and it's okay to be able to go to the gym at 10 o'clock in the morning and pick the kids up. So I think I'm working through that now. The
guilt piece of like, I've actually afforded myself this lifestyle.
Yeah, and I'm under no illusion that it's always going to be like that, because we know business is up and down, and you have amazing seasons, you have tough seasons. I know this is a season where I can bask in what I've created.
Love it.
Whilst building and making sure that I'm prepared for the rainy days, because they come, and when it rains, it pours.
It pours.
So I've been having conversations with God, like, is this... like, do I need another assignment yet? Or you allow me to just be still in this season? Because I think it's just a season of stillness right now.
And you know what? I love that we get to speak about like flourishing and basking in abundance as women in business. Because a lot of the time we like preach the struggle message. And I get the struggle message, but what about the abundance?
It's that, and I think we don't normalise the conversation. I posted a video about this earlier, or recorded a video, talking about the fact that we talk so much about what we're going to achieve, how we're going to achieve it, starting that business. But sometimes we forget about the fact that when we get there, we have to learn to let go of the person that we've actually become. Like, I am unlearning and saying bye to that woman who had to cope in survival for the last 5 years, who had to build, and saying, actually, it's okay to just relax a little bit now and enjoy what you've built. Anymore. Yeah. And I think there's so many women that struggle with that part, because we've conformed to societal expectations of the 9 to 5, the hamster wheel, the always doing something, productivity, success, sorry. So it's just unlearning those things, and I'm still going through that process.
And it's so hard, like survival mode. You're almost in like a default, like you've got
and
default.
It works well sometimes.
I know, but then you don't get to enjoy abundance when it comes.
This is the thing.
You don't get to be on holiday and actually be present, do you?
Don't talk about holiday and being present, because not the last 6 months, but over the last couple of holidays, I've just been able to just relax and not have to think about the laptop. And I just want that for women, people, mothers, so bad. Because there's a lot of us that get to the end of our life and we don't actually experience that. That breaks my heart. And I think that's why the consultancy that I have is so important, because it's unlearning some of those things. People want to jump to the bag, jump to the business, but the mindset's
not ready.
We have to be ready.
What does this consultancy look like? It's new. Has it launched this year, or were you doing this beforehand?
It's launched this year. Okay. I was doing bits of consultancy beforehand through Journal to Dreams. What I noticed is that when I was running Journal to Dreams, there were so many women that have an idea, a skill, particularly from corporate. Yeah. And they don't even realise that skill could not only change the masses, but change their life financially as well. It's almost like, I'll speak to a woman and they'll say, oh, I do this, and this. I'm like, I have no idea how to do that. Do you realise that you could change the game with this? So it's very much women in social care mainly, because that's my background. Utilising a core skill or an expertise that they have and turning it into something tangible so that they can change their own life, but also impact other people. It's very God ordained. So a lot of the women that I've worked with have been women of God. Not exclusive to that. Yeah. But yeah, and it's just been a real pleasure to just see all the light bulb moments when I'm talking to them in a session, and they're like, I didn't realise that I could turn this into a tangible business. And I'm like, you can.
And is it that like essence of them staying in their corporate job but having a side hustle that can like give them wealth as well?
Yeah, so I always recommend that. I always recommend like stay in your corporate until you're able to build. Like, don't do it the way that I did it. I had no choice. I had no choice. build it to a point where it can be sustainable.
Okay.
Build it on the side. And the beauty of being in the corporate world is that you get your training, you get your supervision, you get feedback, you get appraisals. We don't get that in business, so it's almost we're holding ourselves accountable. So they're building that thing on the side. Some of them are just like, I'm ready, I just want to jump into it. But yeah, for the most part, it's women that are already in the corporate and they just want to build something for their children.
What's your advice for people that want to jump? Because I feel like we preach, like we're so like entrepreneurship, let's go. And some people make that jump prematurely.
Yes.
And it's like, whoa, hold fire. Like before you make that jump into like full-time entrepreneurship, what's your reserve saying?
What's your emergency fund saying? Like,
what's your finances looking like?
Are you ready to be rock bottom for like, and I mean financially, mentally?
100%.
Are you ready to put yourself out there in rooms? Because if you're going to do that, you have to be bold in every area. So we have these conversations. I want to understand the why. Like, why do you want to do that? What is the why for you?
Yeah.
Taking that bold move, and sometimes it's not the right reason. So just say, stay where you are,
Hold
and
fire.
just build. Because imagine being able to have the beauty of knowing that you've got an income coming in every month, so it doesn't become a chore to start that business, but you're actually doing it from a place of love and passion. And I think when you like you said, peak too soon, you're almost like you're trying to chase money. Not all money's good money. Not all work's good work. So just give yourself that grace to build.
Take your time.
Alongside,
And that passion piece runs out. Like,
just let's be real.
For everyone watching,
It's so real.
you're passionate when you start, but a couple of years in, that passion piece will run out.
Yes.
Like, passion is great, but it doesn't sustain, does it?
No.
When you're in the weeds of business and scaling and building, yes, you're passionate about something, but it doesn't always sustain. So
I realised, definitely realised that. And I was like, okay, so what's the why now? Because you've got the passion of, I want to change lives, but what's your deep why? Because that's the thing that's going to keep you going.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important.
And for me, it's been about the why, but then it's like, it's also been the why for me. So like there's an impact for the people we want to serve, which is great, and everyone's lives is impacted, but there came a point where I was like, everyone seems to be impacted but me, what's going on? And I was like, we really have to shift something here, because if we're going to have longevity in business, we need to be impacted first. So I had to kind of like journey back to what's the lifestyle I want to have, and then how do we serve from that? What is the lifestyle you want to have?
That is so real. I think for me, it was always time freedom.
Yeah.
Time freedom. And I realised that there needed to be a level of finance to go with that. So it was never the money, but I knew the money was going to be a tool. Time freedom to choose how my life looks. And also, if I'm going to be real as well, I know that one day my time's going to come.
Yeah.
And it was so important that when my children sat in my funeral, they could listen to testimonials of different people saying how their mom was able to impact their lives.
Wow.
That has lived greater than me. And so I think on a personal level, that was it's really, really important that they know what their mom was able to achieve, so that they know there's no limits to what they can achieve. So that's on a spiritual level, and I think on a practical level, that time freedom. And I love treating people. I love seeing their faces.
Giving back.
Just gifting or just experiences. And I think that's the season. Like, one thing God has been very clear about is that kingdom finance piece, and that sowing piece. The sowing. The sowing. Like, he's been like, it's almost like I'm giving you so you can give others. So yes, I have to make sure I pay myself first, and my family are good, and I'm planning for the future. But the sewing piece has been huge over the last 5 years.
I was speaking to someone about this just the other day. Yeah, I was sharing, it was a family member of mine that was like, I can't understand why God calls us to give 10%. And we were battling, going back and forth. And I was trying to explain that in the seed seasons of Eloquent, we've always tithed. So from when turnover was like £500,
I love that.
There would be a moment of tithing in there, and we've always stewarded it. But it's hard to explain to people why gifting that, not even gifting, honouring God with that 10% is so important. Why is it important to you?
So important. So I had a word, and it's particularly this year as well. We've always sown, but it was around women in business, like women of God in business, female-led businesses. Like, that was because I get things in dreams, either in the shower or in the dream. I get a strong word. And it's because yes, Journal Streams serves a purpose, but we cannot do everything. And we need to have people that are good stewards of business, people and money to be able to multiply what we're doing as a community, whether that's Birmingham, whether that's West Midlands, UK, nationwide. And so it was really important for me to be able to sow into female-led businesses that were multiplying their impact but didn't have the resources to do it.
Okay.
And that was sometimes, that could have been paying for a space for them to run an event, or that could have been helping them to register their business, or that could have been gifting one of their clients something that they needed, but something that was going to be longevity.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like, I'm going to provide the snacks. It needed to be something that was going to help to sustain.
Yeah.
And it's been really important, because we know the work is bigger than us, and collaboration is really important. But he was very clear in saying, I need you to sow financially, because where you are now, you wasn't there before. And there were people that I sent to help you, and it's important that you pay it forward. So it's always been huge. But this season in particular has been women in business.
Was there a wrestling when he gave you that word? Or was it like, okay, God, I'm doing it?
I was like, okay, because I think I've wrestled enough.
I feel like I've done so much
fighting,
I've done so much.
It's like, now it's like, okay, I hear you.
Surrender.
I'm gonna do it, because you've always made a way for me. And it's so interesting that when I do it, a woman will message me. Like, for example, I sold into a woman's business, and she was like, do you realise how that was the exact amount that I needed?
Wow.
And I'm just like, it could only be.
Yeah.
It could only be.
Could only be God.
Yeah.
What does your journey with the Lord look like?
Very, very techie.
That can only be the word for it sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been tough, because I was grown up Christian.
Yeah.
But it's been a journey. It's not been conventional. And the reason why I say this is because I'm not part of a church.
Okay.
I have had really tough experiences, and I've dipped in and out of my word. And that's why, when people say, I found God at my lowest point.
Yeah.
I found God at my highest point.
Wow.
I found God
That's
when...
different.
I found God when I realised what he did for me through business, and what that was able to do to others. I was like, I didn't create that mission for myself. I didn't create that dream for myself. I haven't created this life for myself. And it just started giving gratitude, thanks, and just understanding how I can pay it forward. And that's where it started.
That's so special, because you hear of the opposite. Like, people finding God in their lowest moments, and then they get success, and then they're like, it was all me.
It was,
and they
literally
forget about, like, the foundation of it.
That's where I found it. And people will get sick, because I always introduce myself as a vessel. I'm a vessel. And people get sick of it, but I can't ignore it. I can't ignore the fact that this is not how I planned my life to be.
Yeah.
There's so many different checkpoints where I can say that was God. And so for me, I give that time to give myself away, but literally I'm just a vessel.
Yeah.
And in doing that, he's blessed me so abundantly that there's no way that I could not sow and give. And
How do you journey with him in low moments, if you found him in high?
I think that's a battle, and I tell you why that's a battle. It's a battle because sometimes I disengage, and when I say disengage, sometimes I'm not in my word as much as I should be.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting, because it's normally the opposite.
Yeah.
So I'm a lot more, but then I realise when I don't hear the word as much. So I think it's about being more disciplined in saying, like, when I am going through those lows, picking up my Bible.
Yeah, lean
just
on the word.
even if it's a conversation in the car on the way to a meeting, just leaning on the word, having those conversations, and just basking in it no matter the season.
It's hard though, isn't it? Like, I was having this
it's
conversation
really
with my mum recently. It's been a difficult start to the year. My son was really sick at the start of the year, and we were actually told that he had cancer in February. And I remember, like, my family getting around us and trying to, like, giving us scriptures, lean on this, stay in it, man, don't waver. And I remember one day just being like, I'm wavering. I'm wavering, because it's hard, isn't it? Like, yes, we want to lean on God, but in those low moments, it's hard to read scripture. Sometimes it's difficult.
It's so, and especially in a situation like that, that's huge. God bless you, man. Bless you. But yeah, it's hard. It is hard to be obedient, because we're human.
Yeah.
So I never ever preached to be the perfect person, the perfect Christian. The last time I stepped in the church was a wedding recently.
No way.
So not because I made the decision to go on a Sunday, which is something that I'm still looking for a church home.
Is it something you want to?
Yeah,
wanna
100%.
have?
And I've tried a few and they've not been for me, but I think I found one.
Okay.
So So I don't preach to be the perfect one, but what I will say is that he doesn't want you perfect. Just lean in, just talk. You don't have to know the scripture off by heart. You don't have to know, but try.
He often wants you mess as well. It's in like the messiness of like your walk with God that you often find there's a message in it, but it's messy, isn't it? It's not always straightforward and glowing. What would you say is next for you?
Ooh, so I've been every single year I will do, whether you call it a vision board, a prayer board, I write down my goals. I am a goals babe. Like every year I do it. This year I didn't do it. I just said, God, like have your way.
Intentionally.
I was like, have your way. And I think at the moment I'm getting 6 months in now, and I'm like, right, I need some direction now. So like, I need.
I'm done with the blindfold.
I haven't been in my execution season. I've not been in my innovation season, and that is very much the essence of who I am. So I think for the second half of the year, I really want to start planning and looking. Okay. So one of the things that I want to have as part of Journal Streams, I want to have like healing homes. Nice. So I'd like to open homes for women, particularly. I want to grow the consultancy as well. And other than that, just be obedient to what's next in my life, because I haven't had a strong plan. It's just been very much guided. But in terms of what I would like, that's what I would like to see for myself. I'd love to move abroad as well, but that's not going to happen.
Do you have like an idea of where?
No. I'm very much in my, I'm really risk. I like risk.
Okay.
So it's like, let's go for a year. If we don't like it, we can come back.
I've said that line so many times.
We can come back, like, but we can. But I think because we've got such entrepreneurial mindsets, you have to bring everybody else on board, because some people are a lot more, is it risk averse when you're not?
Yeah. My husband's super practical, so he's like, I need that to make sense. I'm the numbers.
My partner's like, I need it to make, it's not making sense right now. You just say, let's jump on a plane. And I'm like, but
where we're going to live, what we're going to do.
Let it all work.
But I can agree with that.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I don't know if I'm being gassed when you see these people on social media that have got these kids and they're traveling.
I watch all of them.
And I'm like, I want to go. I want to do it. It looks really possible. Yeah. So that's a dream.
And I think it's showing our kids as well that it's okay to pivot and change. Like we don't have to just live the life that we're living.
100%.
But I think it does have to come with some logic.
Some foundation before we jump. I'll always like to wrap up with you telling our listeners some nugget of wisdom from today's conversation, something that they can hold on to as they go about their week.
I think one of the main things that I want to say is there's a lot of people navigating on autopilot on a hamster wheel that are called for more, and there's something that's holding them back. And I always say I never want anyone to get to the end of their life and haven't tried that thing that has been sitting stagnant in their mind for the entirety of their life. So I would say do the thing, because it's not permanent. So I think a lot of people think I pivot, I can't then go back because of pride or ego. But do the thing, because 9 times out of 10 it's going to change your life. If it's something that's been harbouring in your mind and in your heart for a long period of time, I need you to be obedient and just go for it and try it. And that would be my wisdom.
Thank you so much, Pariss.
Thank you. I've loved being here. Thank you so much.